no, this is mine.
So we'll start in about 5 minutes. About 5 minutes. I do want to point out that the student with the grazed wound to the arm is a male.
It's a male.
It's a male student, not a female as we first thought. So the student with the grazed wound to the arm who's being now released from the hospital is a male, okay? All right, is everybody ready to go? All right, this afternoon we have a briefing with several of our city's leaders. Chief John Drake will begin the briefing, followed by Mayor Freddie O'Connell. Mayor O'Connell will be followed by Metro Schools Director Dr. Adrian Battle. Also here is District Attorney Glenn Funk and Nashville Fire Department OEM Director Chief William Swan. Chief John Drake.
Thank you, Don, and thank you all for being here during this unfortunate time. What we know thus far is that we had a male student that was 17 years old that rode the bus this morning to Antioch High School. During the course of the morning, this individual made his way to the cafeteria where he then confronted a 16-year-old that we identified as a female Hispanic student, fired, striking her. She is deceased. There is another male 17-year-old young man that was wounded with a graze wound, and he has been treated at Vanderbilt and released. The shooter was 17 years old. He entered into the cafeteria, firing multiple rounds in the cafeteria, striking her, and then before pulling the weapon on himself. From that point, at 11:11, we started receiving calls for service. Officers responded and found the male shooter deceased in the cafeteria. We've been working with our state and federal partners on the identification and notifications of all. From that point, our SWAT team began systematic searches throughout the entire school to make sure there weren't any more victims or shooters within the school. We did not find any more. Since that time, schools, the Family Safety Center is right behind us at the Ascension Medical Center. We are systematically releasing young students to that location to be connected back with their parents. We've done that systematically so we wouldn't overload the parents or the school system. so that we could get everyone back connected. The investigation is still very much ongoing as to a motive. We're looking into that. There are some materials on the internet that we're looking at that's under the investigation on the initial stages, but we'll with TBI, FBI, and ATF. And we'll continue the investigation, which is good morning. Please look at our platforms for further information. At this time, I will turn this over to Mayor O'Connell.
Community, it is impossibly difficult to be here once again dealing with the devastation of gun violence in one of our school communities. As a Metro Schools parent, I know how difficult it is to receive a notification of an emergency operation at a Metro school. I can't imagine how difficult it must be to receive the notification that there has been this level of violence in a school community. Chief Drake, to Dr. Battle, to Director Chief Swan, to our Department of Emergency Communications, the level of first response here once again highlights how important our community of collaboration is. The Family Service Center behind me has been focused on victims and their needs, and we will continue to be focused on that today and for the period to follow. There have been MMPD Wellness Team, there have been the Family Intervention Program. Our Nashville Fire Department's EMS division has been deeply involved in this process, and we as a community will continue to rally to ensure that resources are available to those families who have been directly impacted by this incident, and certainly to the school community. I do want to invite Dr. Adrian Battle up to talk about the Metro Schools response. Thank you.
Good afternoon. As you all can imagine, this is a heartbreaking day for the entire Antioch High School community and all of us here in Nashville and in Nashville Public Schools. Today, we lost students in a tragic incident. One student took his own life and the life of a peer, forever changing the lives of their families and everyone who knew them. My heart goes out to these families as they face unimaginable lives were lost, though at least one student is being treated for injuries. I want to thank the school staff who quickly followed emergency protocols, potentially preventing others from being harmed. Their actions were heroic on a dark day for our school community. I also want to extend my gratitude to the Nashville Police Department and Nashville Fire Department for their swift and urgent response, securing the school and caring for those impacted. This tragedy is under active investigation by law enforcement and district leadership. While we are focused on addressing the immediate situation, we are committed to understanding how and why this happened and what more we can do to prevent such tragedies in the future. Over the years, we have implemented a range of safety measures, including partnership with the MMPD, shatter-resistant film, security cameras with weapon detection software, and security vestibules. Unfortunately, these measures were not enough to stop this tragedy. I know there are questions about whether additional steps such as stationary metal detectors should be considered. While past research has shown they have had limitations and unintended consequences, we will continue to exploring emerging technologies and strategies to strengthen school safety. Building strong relationships between students, staff, and SRO teams remains the most effective way to foster these relationships. In the coming days, we will continue to partner with MMPD and our school team. We want to continue to foster an environment where students feel safe to speak up when they see something concerning. It's important to remember that our schools have historically been safe places for learning, friendships, and growth. We cannot allow this tragedy to overshadow the positive experiences of our 80,000 students. As a former principal of Antioch High School, I've walked the halls and I've witnessed the magic that happens in its classrooms. This loss is deeply personal for me, as it is for so many in and throughout our community. Now, to allow time for students and staff to grieve. Antioch High School will be closed for the rest of this week. We are arranging a location where students and staff can receive grief counseling and other supports. As a middle school student at J.T. Moore, I experienced the pain of losing a classmate to gun violence. I know how deeply this affects families, school communities, and parents everywhere who send their children to school each day. National Public Schools are committed to supporting Antioch High School's students, staff, and families in the days and weeks ahead. I am grateful as we navigate this very difficult time together. I would like to introduce Chief Swan, who will approach the mic at this time.
So I know there's been a lot of information that's already been put out. From my standpoint and from the Nashville Fire Department and Office of Emergency Management, from the time that the call came in, we had 10 med units respond along with 40 other apparatuses from the fire department, including our task force team that works so closely with the police department. We did do 4 transports, all of them going to Vanderbilt. Then other assessments were done, of course, with student and staff when it was needed. Then the Office of Emergency Management, they're here as well to also offer all resources that are needed. The important thing here is the collaboration of everyone that you see behind us to make this situation work as best as we can. But again, we're very appreciative of the team and all the hard work is done, but we know it's a very sad day. But that's the information I can give you from the Nashville Fire Department Office of Emergency Management. Thank you.
The 4th student who was transported to Vanderbilt suffered a facial injury from a fall. It was not gunshot related. He's a male student and fell, I think he wears eyeglasses, and had a facial injury as a result of the fall, and that was the 4th individual who went to Vanderbilt. We will take a limited number of questions from you now.
Chief Drake, does this appear to be a targeted shooting, and it appears the shooter may have been live streaming it on TikTok. Can you provide us any information on that?
So the investigation is very much ongoing. So we're unsure at this time if it was targeted or if it was intended for multiple people. As I said earlier, follow our platforms and we'll put that information out as we gain more information. Our homicide detectives are actively investigating this in conjunction with the FBI, ATF, and TBI.
You've been such a proponent of SROs after Covenant. What changes since Covenant were in place today?
So we've had several things in place. We have, Dr. Battle's done a lot. We've done active shooter training. They put protective film, security access into the building. This individual arrived at school on a bus and was actively a student in the school, went into the restroom, I guess, to retrieve his weapon, and then went into the cafeteria. I would say if there's anything as we progress, to always, if you see something, say something. We believe there's some materials out there, and maybe they were...
The shooter had a criminal history, or if he has a history of bringing guns to school?
That's very much under investigation. I think there was one prior incident, but I'm unsure as to the details, but we will put that out later today.
The material that was found online, has it been vetted? Has it been confirmed that is part of the shooter's manifesto?
We're very much looking into it, and we'll let everyone know once we get there.
The victim herself was Hispanic. What services are going to be offered for this diverse community? We know that a lot of the students here are Latino families, and we're getting a lot of calls. They're obviously very distraught and kind of really don't understand what happened.
Yeah, it's the same as we do with all other students, and we have our family intervention program from the Hispanic community. We'll do everything we can to make sure all notifications are made, all outreach is taken care of, and any information we'll give to them. If they need to reach out, contact the police department, and we'll help, or the metro schools, and we'll help them with any information that they need.
Chief, have you been in contact with the shooter's parents or guardians, and have they been cooperating with the investigation?
Initially, we have made contact with a parent, and that's very much it's very much ongoing. So.
Is there any information on where the student got the gun?
That is an active investigation as well. We work closely with our federal partners.
Hey, can anybody speak about how that went, if everything kind of went smoothly, and if this site was already predetermined to be that in the event that something like this would have happened?
So it was not predetermined to my knowledge. We determined to be a great site to have everyone meet a little bit away from the school. To my understanding, it's gone as well as can be expected at this point. As I said earlier, we've done it systematically. We didn't want to overload the school, the Ascension Center, or the parents. And so systematically we've released a limited number with their families. And that'll keep going until every kid is back safely with their parent. So.
Do we know how many bullet shots the victim received and if the shooter maybe had more ammunition?
So there was multiple rounds that were fired inside the school. Investigation would tell if there was other magazines, other ammunition, and all that. As it unfolds, this will go into the wee hours of the morning, and we'll have more information later.
Thank you all very much. Thank you.
Thank you.
Next of kin notifications are just being made to the shooter's family and to the 16-year-old female. Those names will be released to you on our platforms probably within the next 30 minutes.
I'm getting ready.
Thank you.
I don't think so.
We can get